Okay, hello, hello. I am back for another training here. Today we are diving into a free masterclass. This is called the Power of Decision Masterclass. And this is a training that is going to be all about saying fuck yes to your next level, saying fuck yes to the life of your dreams, and saying fuck yes to your desires. So it's going to be a juicy one. Welcome if you are popping on. I'm so happy to be here with you. I'm so happy that you are here with me. Once again, this is the Power of Decision Masterclass training, all about saying fuck yes to your next levels. We are going to dive deep. We are going to get real today. And I would love for you to let me know when you are here. Say hello, leave me a comment below. If you are watching the replay, say hey so I know you are here. I'd love to celebrate every single one of you that is popping on here with me. So let me know if you're watching and say hey so I can say hey back. Okay, we're going to dive in. We're not going to waste any time right now. We are going to get straight into the masterclass. So let's get this party started. All right, grab something to drink, grab a notebook, take some notes, do your thing, get cozy, get comfortable. I have a blanket, so you might see me just cuddle up over here and stay warm. Okay, let's do this. I'm ready if you are. So I want to start by saying decisions are extremely important. They're not something that most of us are taught how to make. Are you serious? Okay. I see how it is. So maybe I need to slow down a little bit. I already had one technical difficulty. I completely forgot to plug my laptop in, and then it was just about to die. So I stopped the recording the first time, and I tried again. My phone literally just fell off my laptop somehow. I hope it's okay. That's never happened before during a live training. Anyways, I hope you laughed at me. This is my life. Things happen sometimes. I'm so human and so regular and so normal. It's not even funny. However, I'm not really that regular. I'm kind of extraordinary in all the things. Anyways, the Power of Decisions Masterclass. Oh my gosh, this catapulted us into a different dimension, I swear. Whew. Okay. So, decisions are a very powerful thing. Not many people are taught how to make effective decisions in their lives. You know, we're not taught about decision making in school. We're not taught about how to show up in integrity and choose things that are in alignment with the things that we want to create in our lives. So I'm going to teach you some things today that are going to help you learn how to make these powerful, effective decisions in your life. Because the first thing I want to say is that every result that has ever been created, every result that any single person in the history of humanity has ever created, has ever manifested, has ever brought into form, every single one of these results started with a decision. Okay? It started with a decision. So life, it has a really funny way of making room and making space for the people whose words and actions show that they know what they want. When people's words and actions and their decision-making processes show that they know where they are going in life, life makes room for them. Life supports them pretty much every time, right? So the greatest leaders that we see, the most successful people that we see, they make bold decisions. They make effective decisions. They make quick decisions. And these decisions that they make, they propel these people forward into the lives they desire. These decisions propel them toward the results that they desire to create. So when you're very, very clear on what it is that you want, and when you're decisive about what you want, when you can make effective decisions and aligned decisions to move you toward that thing, you're almost always going to create and manifest it. So when you're clear and decisive about when you're clear and decisive about what it is that you want, you will almost always create and manifest it in your reality. So there, I want to ask you, are you clear and decisive about what you want? That's the first thing you might want to check in with yourself about. Are you clear about what it is that you want? And do you make clear decisions regarding that thing? Are you decisive about it? Do you make effective decisions, quick decisions? Or are you kind of stuck in a space of indecision? Are you struggling to decide? Are you having troubles choosing what you need to choose to move forward? These are some things we're going to talk about more, but I just want to plant the seed there with you. Are you clear and decisive about what it is that you want in your life right now? If not, we're going to work toward that. If yes, great, we're going to strengthen that even more. But the very moment that we declare and decide to create, to be, to do, to have something, we start attracting everything that we need to succeed. So this decision, this declaration that something is happening for us, that we're deciding and declaring to create or be or do or have something, that declaration and that decision allows us to attract everything that we need to succeed in our endeavor. The decision is the shift. The decision is the magic there. The decision is the tea. It's the thing that's needed to get us moving forward. Okay? We're going to talk more about that and attracting the resources and the time and the people and the help and the guidance and everything that we need to get to where we're going. We're going to talk about how we can do that, okay? The only thing that really matters when we are working towards something is whether or not we truly desire it. If we truly desire the thing, if we truly desire the result, if we truly desire the change in our lives, then we will decide. We've got to decide. We've got to make the decision to go for it. So the only thing that truly matters, the only thing that we really need to consider when it comes to working toward things and creating things and changing our results in our lives is whether or not we truly desire it. If we desire it, then we've just got to choose it. So we're going to cover all of this today. We're going to dive deep into all of this today. In this masterclass, in this training, you are going to learn how to say fuck yes to your desires and your next levels in your life. You're going to learn how to make quick, effective, definite, and aligned decisions to bring your desires to life. So decisions that are in alignment with you, decisions that are right for you and are right for your desires, okay? You're also going to learn how to decide to create, be, do, have all that you desire to create, be, do, and have in your life, okay? We're going to dive in. We're going to do it all. We're going to cover it all. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be powerful. This training is going to absolutely change your life. I'm so excited. So the power of decision, it's a thing that exists. Wow. It's a thing that exists. And the power of decision really does make everything possible for us. When we learn how to make definite, aligned decisions, everything changes. Because when we apply the power of decision, when we apply decision-making power in our life, we gain direct access to infinite possibility and infinite potential. When we know how to make powerful, aligned, effective decisions, we literally can access all of the infinite potential, all of the infinite possibilities that are out there. So all we truly need is, like, to change any result in our lives, to create any different result in our lives, all we truly need is the courage and the bravery and the faith to make bold, next level aligned decisions. So being able to make effective decisions can literally change everything for you. It can change everything for you. And this is something that really did change everything for me. In the beginning of my personal development journey, decision making was one of the first things I ever learned about. And over the years, I've been able to practice getting out of my comfort zone and making more difficult decisions, making more of the decisions that made me uncomfortable, but also helped me to grow and helped me to become the person that I desired to be. And making these decisions to move toward the things that I wanted over the years has helped me build confidence and build upon my self-image and build self-esteem. So it's a really beautiful thing, this decision-making process, because it helps us create more positive results in every area of our lives. So we're going to gain access to infinite possibility and our absolute infinite potential by learning how to utilize the power of decision. Okay? We're going to cultivate and build upon the courage and the bravery and the faith that it takes and that we need to make these next level aligned decisions, to break out of our comfort zone and choose the things that we desire. Okay? When we do this, when we utilize this decision-making power, when we're locked into the courage and the bravery and the faith that it's going to take to get us to where we're going, then we can truly embody our fullest potential. We can truly create the life and the results that we deeply desire because we have access to this infinite potential. We have access to the infinite possibility. And when we do that, we can truly understand that anything that we decide to create, anything that we declare is happening for us, is absolutely possible. Okay, it's absolutely possible. Anything we decide and declare, anything that you decide to create is absolutely possible. Anything that you declare is happening for you in your life is absolutely possible. Once you're tapped into the courage and the bravery and the faith and the decision-making power, you recognize that you can step into your fullest potential, and you recognize that absolutely anything is possible. And that's what I'm going to show you through today's training, okay? That's what we're going to practice. That's what I'm going to help you implement. That's what I'm going to help you integrate into your life. And it's going to change everything. So I'm super excited. I am super excited. So it is time to talk about the power of decision. We've touched on it a little bit, but we're going to dive in, okay? So, Napoleon Hill. Does anybody know who Napoleon Hill is? If you don't know who Napoleon Hill is, the first place I ever learned of Napoleon Hill was in the Thinking into Results program with Bob Proctor. And then again, I heard of Napoleon Hill in the book Think and Grow Rich. He wrote it. So if you don't know Napoleon Hill, go out and do some research. I'm not going to talk about him today, but I am going to quote him. But he's a powerful, I don't know if I'd call him a philosopher. And some of the things that he's taught and some of the teachings that he's shared are really, really powerful and really, really life-changing. So I'm going to share one of them with you here, okay? So Napoleon Hill said something about decision-making. And he said, "Those who reach decisions promptly and definitely, they know what they want, and they generally get it. The leaders in every walk of life decide quickly and firmly. That is the major reason why they are leaders. The world has a habit of making room for the person whose words and actions show they know where they are going." Okay? So those who reach decisions promptly and definitely, they know what they want, right? And they generally get it. So it's really important for us to know what we want. Very, very first thing. We got to know what we want, right? He says the leaders in every walk of life, they decide quickly and firmly. That's the major reason why they are leaders. So then we've got to learn how to make quick, definite decisions, firm, aligned decisions, right? If we want to lead our lives, if we want to be the leaders and the creators of our lives, we've got to know what we want. We've got to be able to make definite, quick decisions. And he says the world has a habit of making room for the person whose words and actions show they know where they're going. So what he's saying there is that the world makes space, like I was talking about before, the world makes room for the people who are clear on what it is that they want, who are clear on where they are going, the direction that they're moving. The world makes room for these people and supports them and guides them. So When it comes to decision making, it's so important, first of all, like I said, to clearly know what it is that you want, to be very, very clear on what it is that you desire, what you intend to create, what you intend to be, what you intend to do, what you intend to have in your life. It's very important to be clear on what you want. So like I asked you before, do you know what you want? Are you clear on what you want? We're going to dive into this more. I'm going to help you figure this out if you don't know what it is, okay? So I want you to take a minute. We're going to do a little bit of an exercise here. It's just a short one. And I want you to imagine that you have access to all of the resources you could ever need in your life, okay? Everything you could ever need, you have access to it right here and right now. Okay, I want you to imagine that you can literally have anything you desire. You can literally have anything you desire. You have all the resources. The opportunities are infinite. The potential is infinite. You can have anything you want. What do you want? What do you desire? What would you choose to move toward in your life? What do you really, really want? I don't want you to give any thoughts to the ifs, the ands, the buts, the hows. Just simply and clearly think about what it is that you would desire. Okay, the potential is infinite. The resources are infinite. You have everything you could ever need. There's no limits. What would you desire? Okay, this is an exercise that you can play with. If this isn't enough time for you to identify something now, I encourage you to reflect on this in your spare time, in some free time, okay? Take some time to really think about this and really reflect on this in your own life. So most people's minds, most people in our society, their minds are so full of limited thoughts and beliefs that they never really allow themselves to even think about what it is they truly desire. We know that what we focus on is always expanding. If you've worked with me before, if you've watched any of my content, if you know anything about what I teach, then you know that I preach and I teach what we focus on is always expanding. What is happening within us is always creating our outside world. So it's very important for us to be aware of what is happening within us, and especially in this way, right? So many people are so caught up in limited thoughts and limited beliefs about what is possible for them, or what is what they're capable of creating, or what they're capable of being or doing or having in their lives, right? And like I said, we know that what we focus on is always expanding. So what do you think these people who are so focused on and are caught up in their own limitations, in their own limited thoughts and limited beliefs about what is possible for them, what do you think they're continually creating more of? If they're focusing on limitations and their focus is always expanding, what do you think they're creating more of? Okay, so let's look at the other side of the spectrum. Okay, I'm going to answer that. They're creating more of the limitations. Okay, on the other side of the spectrum, what do you think the small percentage of people who actually do allow themselves to entertain their desires and think about what it is that they really want out of life? You know, the people who allow themselves to use their imagination and focus on what they desire to create. What do you think they are creating more of? You know, they're thinking about opportunities. They're brainstorming ways that they could make it happen. They're using their imagination. They're entertaining their desires. They're thinking about what they want. They're grateful. What are these people creating more of? More of their desires, more of the things they're imagining, more of the infinite possibility, right? More of the ways to make it happen. So it's an interesting thing, right? So because so many people never really entertain what they truly desire, they're just caught up in the limited beliefs and thoughts about what they believe to be possible for them. And because they never entertain what they truly desire, they're left manifesting and creating results in their lives that don't provide them with the levels of joy and fulfillment that they want. Right? I've been there. I spent my whole life up until like 4 years ago in that space. I didn't know I had a choice. Nobody around me ever showed me that I had infinite potential or taught me that I could change my mindset or shift from within or transform my results or learn to decide that things get to happen differently for me. Nobody ever taught me that, right? So I was part of that large percentage of people who never thought about what I truly wanted, because I was just so caught up in my circumstances, and I was so caught up in my limited beliefs and thoughts about what was true for me and what was possible for me. I didn't see the potential that there was there. I just didn't know any better. This is why I teach this stuff. This is why I preach this stuff. This is why I love talking about this stuff, because it truly is life-changing. So I was one of those people, right, who never entertained what I truly desired, and I was left creating and manifesting results that didn't provide me with joy and fulfillment. I was left creating and manifesting results that were out of alignment with what I truly wanted. So eventually I had to learn that by shifting from within and by changing my thoughts and beliefs, by shifting my thoughts and by focusing on what I wanted instead, rather than focusing on the circumstances and the limitations, to focus on what I wanted instead. This was when things really started changing in my life. So when it comes to thinking about what we want, we kind of move to the idea of goals, right? And something that's not often taught in goal setting is that there are different types of goals, or you could even say like different levels of goals. Okay, so I'm going to teach you these 3 different types of goals. So there's A-type goals, B-type goals, and C-type goals. Okay, A-type goals, these are like our present results. Okay, these are the things that we know that we can do already. So whatever a present result for you is. Let's say you live in an apartment downtown in the city you live in, okay? This is an A-type goal for you. It's aligned with your present results. You know that you have the power and the potential to live in an apartment in the city that you live in. Okay? Does that make sense? So that's an A-type goal. These are things that you already know that you can do. You already know you have the power and the potential to create that outcome or create that result. Okay? You already know you have the power and the potential to fulfill that goal. This is an A-type goal. Moving from A-type goals, we have B-type goals. B-type goals are the things that we think we can do. Maybe we've never done it before, but it's something that we believe we have the power and the potential to make happen. Okay, maybe you're somebody who always bought used vehicles before. Okay, and let's say over the last couple of years you've increased your income, you've saved up some money, and you believe that buying a new car is something that you're capable of. You would like to get yourself in a new vehicle, something more reliable, and you believe you have the power and the potential to get yourself into some new wheels. Okay, this would be a B-type goal. It's something that you think you can do. So with A-type goals, the things that you know you can do, the goals that are aligned with your present results, there's not really a lot of like excitement or inspiration or motivation in these goals, because it's not really pushing your threshold. It's not really pushing you out of your comfort zone, right? It's something you already know you can do, so it's kind of easy. It's easier, it's not something you really have to push yourself to work toward, because you know you're capable of it, you know you can achieve it, and therefore there's not a lot of growth in an A-type goal. So with a B-type goal, there can be a little bit of growth, right? There's a little bit of room for growth. Maybe you're pushing your comfort zone a little bit, but you're still working towards something that you believe and think that you can do. So there's still some inspiration there. There's still some motivation there. But at the end of the day, you know deep down on some level that you could even do better than that. You could even create something more than that if it was what you desired, if it's what you decided that you wanted. So these B-type goals, like I said, they're the things that you think you can do. And there's a little bit of growth in them. They might push you out of your comfort zone a little bit, like I said. And then we have C-type goals. So these C-type goals, these are your fantasies. C-type goals are aligned with the things that you truly want. They're the things that you so deeply desire. You know, the goals that you lay awake at night imagining yourself fulfilling. These are the goals that, like, when you think about them, you're like, I have no fucking idea how I would ever make that happen. All I know is I desire it. I desire it. I want it. It's for me. I see myself there and I want it. I have no idea how, but I want it. I desire it. Okay. These are C-type goals. So these C-type goals are fantasies. They're aligned with what you truly want. Okay? They're not aligned with what other people want for you or what you think society wants for you or what you think your circumstances allow you to make happen. Your C-type goals are aligned with what you truly desire, what you truly deeply want with every fiber of your being. You know, the dreams, the fantasies, the beautiful visions in your imagination. These are C-type goals. Okay? They're things that you truly desire to go for. They're things that you truly, truly deep down within you, like, the only word I can use to describe it is desire. Like, you desire it so much. Your heart, just like, when you think of it, your heart beats faster. When you think of it, like, you get butterflies in your stomach. Like, these are C-type goals. They're exciting. You know, it's something you've never done before. It's something that you have no idea how you could ever make it happen. All you know is that you desire it and it will happen. These are C-type goals. And these are the types of goals that I believe and I teach that we should be setting for ourselves, because these are the goals that carry with them opportunity for growth, massive opportunity for expansion, an opportunity for us to step boldly and bravely and unapologetically and confidently into our next levels. These are C-type goals. They push us, they expand us, they allow us to grow. They excite us, they motivate us, they inspire us. Just waking up in a day, knowing that you have a C-type goal to work toward is so fucking exciting. It gets you out of bed, it gets you off your ass, and it gets you moving because it's something that you really want. It's not something that you just think that you want. It's not something that would just make life a little bit better. Like, it's something that you really, really, really want. This is a C-type goal. And these are the kinds of goals that change our lives. Okay? I like to call these worthy ideals because I think the word goal kind of carries a certain energy with it. And I really like the idea, the concept and the wording of worthy ideals. It's an ideal, it's a vision, it's something you see in your mind, it's something you see yourself moving toward and creating and manifesting and bringing into form in your life. It's an ideal that you see yourself fulfilling and you're excited to fulfill. Okay? So once you have a strong C-type goal, once you have locked in one of these fantasies and you're saying, this is the thing that I desire, this is the thing that I want, this is the worthy goal that I'm working toward, this is the big, 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 big thing that I am creating right now. This is the thing. This is the worthy thing, this is the worthy ideal, this is my C-type goal. Okay? Once you have a strong C-type goal, something that you truly desire to work toward, something you truly desire to move toward, we've got to take our goal through something called a creative process. Okay? And the creative process has 3 parts. I was thinking I could make a little diagram for you, but maybe I'll just post one in the comment section later. Yes, I will do that. I can't comment right here, I guess, but that's okay. If somebody wants to leave me a comment here and just say worthy goal, or no, not worthy goal. Say creative process diagram. And I'll post a little visual diagram for you in the comment section. Creative process diagram for anybody who's out there and seeing this. Leave me a comment below. Okay, so once we have that strong, worthy C-type goal, we've got to take our goal through something called the creative process. So how the creative process works is you have this C-type goal, you have this fantasy, right? You have this worthy ideal, this true desire. Once you have that fantasy, you've got to ask yourself 2 questions. The first question, before you start moving toward your desire, before you start bringing your worthy ideal into form, the first question you've got to ask yourself is, am I able? Am I able to do this? Am I able to manifest this? Am I able to create this? Am I able to bring this into form in my life? Am I able to make this happen? Again, if you know anything about me, if you know anything about my work, if you've watched any of my trainings in the past before, then you know that you have absolute infinite potential. You can literally create, be, do, have anything that you truly desire. So if your worthy goal, if your worthy ideal, if your C-type goal is something that you truly want, if it's something that you truly desire, then you absolutely know that you are able to make that happen. You are able to bring that into form. So the first question, the answer to it should be a definite yes, right? You have absolute infinite potential. Are you able? Yes, of course. Of course you're able. Okay, so that's the first question you ask yourself. The second question you must ask yourself before you go and create a thing, before you go start moving toward the thing, is, am I willing? Am I willing to do what it's going to take? Am I willing to pay the price? Am I willing to put in the work? Am I willing to do what it takes to get to where I'm going? And that's a decision that you have. That's a choice that you have to make. So the beginning of the creative process, you have this fantasy, right? You have this C-type goal, this big desire. And you ask yourself, am I able and am I willing? If it's a definite yes to both of those questions, if you answer yes to both of those questions, then you move forward and your fantasy becomes a concrete goal. You move forward and you turn your fantasy into a goal or a theory, right? Something that you can decide and declare that you are going to start moving toward. So you have the fantasy, you have the desire, you ask yourself, am I willing and am I able? If yes, then you take this fantasy and you turn it into a goal, a concrete goal. Something that you can work toward, something that you can decide and declare to start moving toward in your life. Okay? So over time, as long as you stay able and willing to move toward your goal and to keep doing what it takes to get to where you're going, your goal will eventually manifest into form and become a fact. So your goal moves, I guess your fantasy, it starts as a fantasy, right? It starts as a desire, you turn it into a goal. And then as you work toward the goal becomes a fact. The goal manifests into form. You do it, it happens, you create it, it's here, right? So fantasy comes first, You ask yourself, am I willing and am I able? Yes, you turn that fantasy into a theory, you turn that fantasy into a goal. Once it is a concrete goal and you start moving toward it and you stay willing and able to do what it takes, your goal will eventually manifest into form and become a fact. Starts as a fantasy, turns into a goal or a theory, and then it becomes a fact. So this is the creative process. Once your goal, your fantasy, your big ideal turns into a fact, once it's manifest into form, then you move on to your next desire. And you take this next desire, this next C-type goal, this next worthy ideal, this next big thing that you want in your life, and you pull it through the creative process, right? You walk with it through the creative process. So you turn your fantasy into a goal and a theory. Your goal and a theory, you turn it into a fact, right? Am I willing? Am I able? As long as you're willing and able along the way, your goal will come into form over time. So this is the creative process. This is how every goal, every idea that somebody has ever had has come into form. So I'll post that for you in the comments below. I'm going to leave you, like I said, I'll leave you with a visual so you can better see what that creative process looks like on paper. I find the visuals really helpful for that. So when it comes to creating and manifesting the results that you desire in your life, you've got to be really crystal clear on what it is that you want, right? We have to have that very clear C-type worthy goal. So I want to ask you, are you clear on what you want? Again, not what your mom and dad want for you, not what your siblings want from you, not what your family wants from you, not what your friends want from you, not what your teachers or professors want from you, not what your mentors want from you, not what society wants from you, but are you clear on what you want? Do you know what you want? What you desire? What your heart and soul is being called to create? What you really, truly dream of creating and being and doing and having in your life? Your unique dreams, your unique fantasies, your unique desires. Are you clear on what your ideal life looks like? And do you have your goals written down? Do you have your goals written down? Do you think about and focus on your goals and the things that you desire to bring into form daily? Do you think about and focus on the things that you want daily? And do you have a clear roadmap or at least action steps set out to help you move toward your goals every day? Those are some questions for you. So are you clear on what you want, what you desire, what your unique dreams are, what you really want to create in your life, what your ideal life looks like? Do you have your goals written down, and do you think about and focus on what you desire every day? And lastly, do you have a clear roadmap or at least some action steps set out to help you move toward your goals? Okay, that clarity of your desired outcomes, being extremely crystal clear on what it is that you want, should be your first priority. Absolutely crystal clear on what it is you desire and what you're moving toward. Okay, so once you're clear, once you've got that clarity of desired outcomes, once you know what your worthy C-type goal is, once you're very, very clear on what it is you desire and what you are working toward, then we get to think about decisions. Okay? So Bob Proctor, he was like the first mentor I ever learned from in my personal development journey. He's an incredible human being, like one of the top personal development experts in the world. He's incredible, Bob Proctor. I highly recommend you learn from him. He said something, and he said, there's a single mental move you can make, which in a millisecond will solve enormous problems for you. It has the potential to improve almost any personal or business situation you will ever encounter. And it could literally propel you down the path to incredible success. We have a name for this magic mental activity, and it's called decision. So, decisions. A decision, Bob Proctor said, is a single mental move that you can make, which in a millisecond can solve enormous problems for you. Decisions have the potential to solve some of life's biggest problems for you, okay? Decisions have the potential to improve almost any personal or business situation you will ever encounter. Anything you desire to shift, change, recreate in your life, a decision can help you do that, okay? The decision-making power is strong, it's powerful, it's incredible. So this magic mental activity that can literally propel you down the path to incredible success are decisions, okay? Decisions are literally responsible for every result we get in our lives. And I suppose I shouldn't only say decisions, but lack of decisions are also responsible. So decisions or lack of decisions are responsible for every result that we get in our lives, okay? The most successful people in our world, they've become very good at making decisions. They're effective decision makers, right? They make decisions quickly, and they don't often allow themselves to be influenced or sidetracked by the opinions of others or by outside circumstances. So they decide quickly and firmly based on their desires, based on what they want. They don't worry about what other people think or the opinions of others or their outside circumstances. They decide based on their desire. And they decide quickly and they decide firmly because they know that the decision is what it's going to take to transform their reality and to transform their results in their lives. So our entire lives are affected by decisions, or like I said, lack of decisions. We're going to talk about lack of decisions and what that creates, but we'll get into that. So if our entire life is affected by our decisions, that means our health, our well-being, our happiness, our social life, our relationships, our businesses, our careers, our results in every area of our lives are dependent on our ability to make sound decisions. And not only sound decisions, but decisions that are actually aligned with the results that we desire to create. So in our world, in all of the infinite possibilities, there are decisions that are aligned with the results that we want, and there are decisions that are aligned with the results that we don't want. And not making a decision is a decision. So we're going to get to this. I'm trying not to skip ahead. Okay. Not making a decision is still a decision. Okay. So you'd think that like if decisions are so powerful and are so important and have such an effect on our results in our lives that we might be taught about decisions or decision making in school. Right? I know I wasn't. I don't know if that's something that they teach now, but it wasn't in the curriculum when I was in school. So it's something that we have to decide and we have to choose to develop and learn on our own. And if we're not choosing that or deciding that for ourselves, then, hopefully somebody is coming along like myself doing this training to teach us of the power and the importance of making aligned decisions in our lives. Because unless somebody in your life is teaching you or you're seeking to learn it for yourself, there's not a lot of places in society that are going to teach this kind of stuff, right? So it's kind of something we've got to choose to develop or learn on our own. And it's not difficult to become a strong decision maker. It's not difficult to become an effective decision maker, and it doesn't have to be a struggle, and it doesn't have to take a long time, and we don't have to sacrifice to make decisions in our lives, okay? We don't have to suffer. It doesn't need to be difficult. Like I said, it doesn't need to take a long time, but we do have to choose it. like we do have to decide that we're going to decide to start making decisions, right? We're so close. We're so close to the part where I can talk about the thing I want to talk about. We're so close. So I'm just gonna skip ahead. We're gonna get right to it. Okay, let me have a drink of water here. Have a drink of water. Decisions are important. That's what we need to take away from this right now. And we're not taught how to make them often. So we have to go out and find ways to learn that for ourselves. So there's people in our world, right? And I know I've been in this space too, where I didn't know how to make effective decisions. I hadn't learned or taught myself how to make quick and definite and aligned decisions. I wasn't taught how to make decisions that supported me in bringing the results that I desired into form. Nobody ever taught me that. I had to learn that on my own, okay? So there's a lot of people out there in our world who never developed the strength or the ability to make effective decisions. And because they haven't developed this skill, this decision-making skill, they often stay in spaces or circumstances or situations in their lives where they feel stuck. So they were never taught how to choose again. They were never taught how to decide to create something differently. So they keep recreating these results that they don't desire, and they create this feeling of being stuck. I'm sure we all get that. I'm sure we all know what that's like, feeling stagnant, feeling stuck, spinning our tires in one area of our lives and not knowing how to move forward. The decision-making power, the power to make a decision, could literally change every one of those situations. I almost guarantee it. So, this lack of decision-making, this not knowing how to make decisions, right? Lack of decisions is called indecision. So if we're not making a decision and moving forward, we're staying stuck in a space of indecision. And these spaces of indecision, there's often a ton of conflict. It's almost like a war that's happening within us. So this indecision causes conflict within us. And this conflict is called ambivalence. It's like there's two different situations that are coexisting. So it causes turmoil and conflict inside of us, right? It's like mental and emotional wars that break out within us when we're in this state of indecision, because we desire to move forward, and like at a root level we really want to create change, right? But at the same time, this desire for change and this desire to shift things, it's coexisting with our unwillingness to decide to move forward. Right? We don't have the power to decide. We do have the power. We have access to the power, but we haven't learned how to apply the power of decisions and choose to move forward. Does that make sense? So it's like this indecision causes this internal conflict, and we want change, but at the same time, we don't know how to create it. We don't know how to choose again. We don't know how to make a decision to change our results. So we're stuck in the space where we're like, I want this, oh, but this, but I want this, oh, but this. And it's like constant mental and emotional wars within us, right? This is ambivalence. This is what happens when we don't make decisions. When we're in a space of indecision and we're feeling stuck, this is often what's happening within us. So it's easy to see, like it's very easy to see how staying in a state like this could really affect how we're feeling and what is happening within us and how things are happening in our lives, right? Like it's easy to see how staying in a state like this could cause more difficulty. So the people who are stuck in indecision, they often find themselves feeling stagnant, oftentimes unproductive. There's definitely a feeling of like unfulfillment there. They know they're not truly getting what they're capable of getting out of life, and it doesn't feel great. And often they're not moving at the pace that they desire to move at, or they're not living up to their fullest potential. And, they're staying in situations that they don't love. So it's not a great feeling, right? And I've been there. If you were on the free 5-day masterclass that I hosted a couple of weeks ago, then you heard me share my story about staying in relationships and situations that were so unfulfilling and broke me down day after day. And it took me so long. It literally took me years to learn how to make a decision to move forward, to learn how to make a decision to create change, to learn how to decide that my life didn't need to stay that way if I wasn't fulfilled and happy anymore. I had the power to choose again. So, yeah, we don't have to stay stuck in that space, okay? If you're somebody who's feeling stagnant, if you're feeling stuck, if something in your life isn't happening the way that you desire it to, if you find yourself spinning your tires, feeling unproductive and unfulfilled, you get to choose again, okay? You don't have to exist, simply just exist through your days. You deserve to live your life. You deserve to live your life to your fullest potential and to enjoy your life to the fullest potential that it can be enjoyed, okay? So life isn't just about existing, it's really about living. And learning how to make these effective decisions can really help us live rather than just exist and survive. So, yeah, the people who are in these spaces of stagnancy, who are spinning their tires in indecision, who are experiencing this internal conflict day in and day out, you know what would change everything for them? You know what has the potential to change everything for them? A decision. And in some cases, it's a series of decisions that is needed to create the change that a person desires, right? So it's not just like one decision and everything's changed. Yay! It's like sometimes there's work to do. Sometimes there are multiple decisions that we need to make to align with our fullest potential and to do what is true and right for us, right? To honor ourselves, to really show up for ourselves, to create the outcomes and the results that we desire. So, yeah, decisions. A decision or a series of decisions could change everything for these people, for you, for me, for anybody who feels that they are stuck or stagnant or in a space of indecision, okay? There is a basic law of the universe, and it states, create or disintegrate. So when we're making decisions, this is part of the creative process, right? It's part of creation. We're creating, we're in a creative energy when we're making decisions. Indecision is disintegration, okay? So indecision causes disintegration. If we're not making decisions, if we're not moving forward, unfortunately, we're moving backward, or we're spinning our tires in the same spot and never really making decisions to change, but hoping that like somehow things might change for us, maybe somehow the universe will shift this situation on its own and we won't have to make a decision. And I'm just going to keep doing the same things over and over and over again and expecting a different result. This is disintegration, my friends. This is how indecision happens a lot of the time, right? We spin our tires in the same spot and we never make the decision to move forward and actually create change. But we stay hoping that maybe the universe will switch things up and change it for us. And we're putting the power outside of ourselves already, so we just keep doing the same things over and over again, not really making a decision, not really doing anything to change. and we expect different results and we drive ourselves fucking insane because this isn't what we want, but we're choosing it anyways. Like I said in the beginning, when I started talking about this whole decision-making thing, is not making a decision is a decision in itself. So if you desire something to change, but you are not choosing to change it, if you are not deciding to change, that's a decision you're making. You're choosing to not change. Is that what you really want? If not, choose again. Every single moment is an opportunity for you to choose again, and you don't have to be hard on yourself about how things have gone in the past. You don't need to suffer because of how things have happened in the past. You can break through. Now can be the moment that you make the decision that changes your life forever. Or you make the decision to make the first decision in a series of decisions that is going to change your life forever. But most of the time, we've just got to start with one decision. So what is the decision that you need to make to get to where you're going? You can reflect on that, okay? So, yes, what was I saying? Create or disintegrate, right? So, in this energy of indecision, like these cycles and these patterns of indecision, they show up in so many different ways. People saying things like, I don't know what to do. What should I do? Should I love them or should I leave them? Should I quit the job or should I stay? Should I do the thing or should I not do the thing? Should I say that or should I not say that? Should I tell them or should I not tell them? Right? This is indecision. It's something we've all experienced at some point. Anytime there was a decision to be made, a lot of the times we take some time to think about it. And when we're taking time to think about it, this is the state of indecision. We're either making the decision moving forward or we're making the decision to not yet make the decision, right? Which is indecision. So we've all experienced it before. And if you're somebody who experiences indecision often, if you find yourself spinning your tires and not moving forward in spaces often, decide now to move forward from that. Decide now that you're moving past that. Decide now to stop the indecision. Decide, make the decision, right? Make the decision to stop the indecision. All you've got to do is decide. Choose, change, something different. So, you can decide now that you're moving past indecision. So the people in life who are great at making powerful decisions, they often have a strong self-image, right? A strong sense of self-confidence and self-esteem, right? They have a high level of confidence within them that makes them kind of like unfuckwithable. Right? They have a self-image and a confidence and a self-esteem and a way about them that no matter what happens, like, life can't get them down. No matter what happens, somehow they're learning and they're growing and they're overcoming and they're breaking through. And how do they do it so good all the time? They're just always moving forward and it seems like nothing touches them and it doesn't make any sense to me. They're deciding, they're choosing to hold themselves to a higher standard and make decisions that are aligned with where they desire to go, and they're choosing to be unbreakable. They're deciding to be unfuckwithable. They're deciding that nothing in life can hold them down and that they are strong and that their strength builds daily and that they become more confident and bold and unapologetic and comfortable in who they are every single day. These are decisions that people make, right? So, we think that like this indecision is the cause of the turmoil and the spinning the tires and the unfulfillment and the not moving forward and all of these things, right? We think that the indecision is the cause of that. The indecision is actually a secondary cause. The primary cause of getting these results that we don't want is actually low self-confidence and low self-esteem. If we don't have a certain level of self-confidence and self-esteem, we're not going to make powerful decisions in our lives, right? How are we even going to believe that it's possible for us, right? So this low self-esteem and lack of confidence is actually the primary cause of the stress and the turmoil and the unfulfillment and the spinning the tires that we experience when we're in a state of indecision. So, how do we build upon confidence or self-esteem that we don't have yet? How do we do that? By deciding. We decide to move forward and build our confidence along the way. We decide to show up and take one step. And once we take that one step, we build our self-esteem along the way. We decide to move forward and overcome adversities and break through barriers and overcome obstacles. And we become stronger and more well-equipped to handle what comes next along the way. So, building this self-esteem and building the confidence that you need to make powerful decisions comes by making powerful decisions. It's a practice. It's something that we integrate and we practice over time, and we become stronger over time. We become more confident over time. We build upon our self-image and our self-esteem over time. Okay? So if you know you're somebody who needs to build confidence and build your self-esteem and build your self-image, start making decisions. Start showing up as that next level self, right? Like the title of this is called, saying fuck yes to your next levels, right? It's like, you've kind of got to say fuck yes to your next level self and show up as that person now. So what do they want? What do they desire? How do they show up? How do they make their decisions? Right? It's like, show up and step into that now. As you do that, every single step that you take, you're going to build confidence along the way. You're going to build upon that self-esteem and you're going to flourish. Okay? The first step is always the hardest, and we oftentimes surprise ourselves once we make that initial move. 100%. I love it so much. I'm so happy to see you here too, by the way. Hello, Andy. I love it. Yes, the first step is typically the hardest, and we do oftentimes surprise ourselves once we make that initial move, because we show ourselves what we're capable of. You know, it's like we bring out that power within us that we always knew was there, but we never knew how to use. And that's a decision in itself, is making that decision to take that first step, making the decision to make that initial move and build our confidence along the way. Like, it's such a turning point. Thanks for commenting that. I appreciate it. So, okay, I'm going to have a drink real quick, and then we're going to continue. So, here's the thing you need to know when it comes to choosing different results in your life. Okay, when it comes to deciding to create change and change things in your life, here's what you need to know. I'm going to look you in the eyes and I'm going to tell you. You can't fuck it up. You can't mess it up. You can't fuck it up. You can't fail. Okay, when it comes to decisions, you can't be afraid of making a mistake. Okay, do not be afraid of making a mistake. Okay, here's why. Here is why. The people who are strong decision makers, they aren't afraid of fucking things up. They're not afraid of making mistakes. They're not afraid of tripping up along the way. Okay, if and when they do trip, if and when they do make an error, if and when something doesn't go as they planned in their decision-making process, they shrug it off and they learn from it. They learn along the way, right? They learn from every experience, but they never quit. And because they never quit, they never fail. Because failure is only failure if you stop. Okay? You can't fuck it up if you're learning. You can make mistakes and not fuck up your whole process. Okay? You can trip up and things don't have to go perfectly, and you can still get to where you're going. Failure is not failure unless you stop. So if you desire to move forward and create change in your life, decision making is something that you can't avoid. Don't be afraid of decision making. Don't be afraid of making the wrong choice. There is no wrong choices. You can't fuck it up. You can't mess up your process. If you realize that you've made a choice that wasn't 110% aligned for you, you get to choose again. Every single moment is an opportunity to choose again, and that is why you can't fuck it up. You can't fail. If you don't quit, if you keep going, if you keep learning, you can't fuck it up. You can't fail. You can't mess it up. So don't be afraid of making these mistakes, because these mistakes are part of the confidence building, the self-image building, and it's part of the growth along the way, okay? I make mistakes every day. I literally make mistakes every day. And as soon as I make the mistake, most of the times, as soon as I make the mistake, I'm forgiving myself and I'm moving forward. I'm forgiving myself and I'm learning from it and I'm growing. Okay? I don't let my mistakes hold me back. I don't let fear of making mistakes hold me back from making decisions. If I let fear of making mistakes hold me back from making decisions, not only would I never make decisions, I would never move forward, but I would also never be learning, because I'd never be doing anything that allowed me to learn lessons and make mistakes and learn from the things that I made mistakes with. It's like, would you rather live your life in safety and never do the things that you're afraid of doing because it's safe? Or would you rather go out, make the decision to do the things that you're afraid of doing, mess it up along the way, learn all the lessons, keep growing, keep going, never quit, become more confident, become more of the person you're meant to be, gain the experience, gain the lessons, gain the wisdom? You see, I can't even compare the two because they're not even comparable. It's like, we've got to make the decisions. We've got to be brave enough to choose to keep on going despite fear of making mistakes. Okay, so don't be afraid of making mistakes when it comes to your decisions. Decisions are essential for all forward movement in life, and you don't have to be afraid to fuck it up, because you can't fuck it up. You're always going to be learning. As long as you're never quitting and you're learning from the mistakes you've made, you cannot fuck it up. So keep going. You've got this. Okay? One decision-making rule I want to share with you that you need to know. If you're going to apply any of this, here's one thing you need to know. Decide where you are with exactly what you have. When it comes to decisions, start where you are, use what you have, do what you can. Okay? So many people never move forward and make decisions. They never master making decisions in their lives because they allow their circumstances and the current resources that they have access to dictate if and when decisions can be made in their lives. So they never master decision making. They never get great at making decisions because they allow resources and circumstances to hold them back. They allow resources and circumstances to determine and dictate whether they can make the decision. For example, somebody says, I desire to go on a trip to Jamaica in January of 2021. Okay? I desire to go on a trip to Jamaica in January 2021. If the decision is being made, if the decision is not being made, if this person isn't making the decision to go, that's not even what I'm trying to say. Okay, so person has a goal. Let me try this again. Person has a goal to go to Jamaica. Yes, Jamaica, Andy. Jamaica in January of 2021. Okay, but if they are allowing their resources and their circumstances to dictate whether or not they can make the decision, they might not ever go. Let's say person wants to go to Jamaica in January of 2021, but they maybe don't have the financial resources for it right now to book their ticket and go. Or maybe there's a family thing going on in January of 2021 and they don't want to commit. Or like whatever other circumstances or resource issues that could come up. I'm sure you guys get the gist, right? If person allows the lack of resources or their current resources or their current circumstances to determine whether or not they can decide to go to Jamaica, are they going to get to Jamaica when they desire to go to Jamaica? Probably not. So the point is, we've got to decide where we are with whatever we've got. We've got to start where we are, use what we have, and do what we can. We don't need the resources to make the decision. We need to make the decision to attract and create the resources. We don't need the resources to make the decision. You don't need the money to decide to do the thing you want to do. You don't need to have the time open right now to decide to do the thing that you want to do in the future. Okay? You've got to make the decision, and then the details will work themselves out. Okay? So never allow your current resources or your current circumstances to dictate whether or not you can do something. Never allow your current resources or your current circumstances to affect your decision-making process. It's actually irrelevant. Your current circumstances and current resources have nothing to do with what you're able to create in the future. Absolutely nothing. So I want to read you a passage here from the Thinking into Results program. So this is a program by Bob Proctor. Okay, so on this topic. This is the cardinal principle of decision making. Decide right where you are with whatever you've got. This is precisely why most people never master this important aspect of life. They permit their resources to dictate if and when a decision will or can be made. When John Kennedy asked Wernher von Braun what it would take to build a rocket that would carry a man to the moon and return him safely to Earth, his answer was simple and direct: the will to do it. President Kennedy never asked if it was possible. He never asked if they could afford it, or any one of 1,000 other questions, all of which would have, at the time, been valid questions. President Kennedy made a decision. He decided he would put a man on the moon and return him safely to Earth before the end of the decade. The fact that it had never been done before in all of the hundreds of thousands of years of human history was not even a consideration. He decided where he was with what he had. The objective was accomplished in his mind the second he made the decision. It was only a matter of time, which is governed by natural law, before the goal was manifested in form for the world to see. So once you make the decision, you will find all the people, resources, and ideas you need every time. Okay? So, when President Kennedy asked what it would take to build a rocket that would carry the man to the moon and bring him home safely, the answer was the will to do it. They didn't worry about the money. They didn't worry about the resources. They didn't worry about any of the other things that would have been valid worries, right? He decided. He made the decision. Okay? The point of that is to decide where you are with whatever you have. To decide where you are, to decide with what you have, and to decide with what you can. Okay? Don't allow your resources or circumstances to dictate if and when or how a decision can be made. Because once you decide, you will attract all the people, the resources, the time, the money, everything that you need to bring your desire to life every single time. Every single time. It's like you make the decision and your decision opens up this energetic gateway for everything that you need to support you along the way to come to you as you need it. So the decision opens up this energetic gateway for everything you need to come to you as you need it. But if you don't make the decision, you're going to block off that energetic gateway. So how are the resources and the people and the tools and the guidance and the ideas supposed to come to you if you haven't even decided what you want yet? Right? This is the point. Whether or not you want to create the thing, whether or not you want to do the thing, is the only consideration. Whether you desire change or not is the only consideration. Everything you need to fulfill your goal, you will attract because you decided. Once you make the decision, everything you need to fulfill your goal will come to you. You will attract it because you decided. Okay, there are a ton of people out there, obviously, who will say this is fucking crazy. This is okay. There are so many people out there who will say this is crazy. You can't just decide to do something if you don't have the resources required to do it. Okay, that's fine. You're allowed to think that way. They are allowed to think that way if that is how they choose to think. However, that is a very limited way of thinking, and I choose not to think that way. Okay? It's actually not thinking at all. Okay? That's actually them just expressing an opinion that they likely took on from somebody else in the past. So the opinion that it is crazy, you can't just do something if you don't have the resources required, that's an opinion that I don't buy into. That's a belief and a way of thinking that I do not buy into. And you don't have to buy into it either. If it feels limiting, if it feels constricting, if it feels like it limits your potential, you don't have to choose that belief. You don't have to choose to live your life that way. You get to decide how life gets to happen for you. I choose the belief that once I make a decision to do something, everything I need to fulfill my goal and fulfill my ideal will come to me as I need it. That's the belief that I have. And that's how life works for me. I've literally proved it to myself time and time and time again. So the thing is we get to decide how life gets to work for us. We choose our beliefs about how life gets to happen for us. So you're entitled to choose the belief that you can't decide to do something if you don't have the resources required. You can do that. But again, that's a very limited way of thinking. That's a very limited way of living. And it's not actually thinking at all. It's just a limited opinion. And if you don't like that, you don't have to choose that. So the moral of that story is don't listen to people that don't believe in infinite potential. Don't listen to people that don't believe in infinite potential and universal law. Our entire world, our entire universe is energetic and is based on energy. And if we can master this decision making, we're able to actually manipulate and change the energy behind how things get to happen for us just by making the decision. So again, once you decide, you're going to attract everything you need to make what you desire to happen every single time. You don't need the resources to decide, remember, you need to decide to attract the resources. So make your decision, attract the resources. It'll be beautiful. The greatest obstacle that most of us face when it comes to making important decisions in our lives are our circumstances, right? So many people allow their current circumstances to pull them off track instead of giving their desires everything they've got. So they allow their circumstances to affect how they do things instead of giving their dreams everything they've got. They allow what's currently happening in their lives to hold them back instead of giving their desires everything they've got. And so many people let their dreams and their goals just be broken down and crushed by circumstances than anything else that exists. I see more people limit themselves based on their current circumstances than I see people limit themselves in any other way. And it's sad. It's sad. Because I'm like, no, it doesn't have to be that way. Your circumstances don't have to control you. You do have a choice. You don't have to keep living that way. It's sad to me. It hurts my heart. So how do we help people shift out of those limited ways of being and doing things and living their lives? Well, we lead ourselves. We lead the way through our own journey. Okay, we lead ourselves. We make the decisions for ourselves. We break through our circumstances ourselves. We show ourselves and the world around us that circumstances do not have to control us. That actually we get to recreate our circumstances if they are not what we want. So circumstances are like the greatest obstacle that we face when it comes to making decisions every day, right? And you can even just think of times when you've said, I would like to do XYZ. I would like to have XYZ. I desire XYZ. Think of times when you've said stuff like that, okay? And think of how many times you've said, I would like to do XYZ, but I would like to have XYZ, but I would like to blah, blah, blah. I desire blah, 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 but. Okay? Whatever follows the but is just a circumstance. It's just a circumstance. And you do not have to allow your circumstances to control you. You do not have to allow your circumstances to control you. Okay? You actually get to recreate your circumstances, like I said. So, circumstances, obviously they're a thing that exist. When they show up in our lives and when we're faced to break through or overcome circumstances, they may be like a small detour, they may be a small obstacle to overcome, but we should never let them stop us from making decisions and choosing what we want. Circumstances should never, ever stop us from making decisions to do what we desire with our lives. Napoleon said, circumstances, I make them. Circumstances, I make them. Circumstances, I make them. Circumstances, I make them. And there's nothing more true than that. We create our circumstances every single day. So the next time that you hear yourself or somebody else say that you desire something, but you can't because whatever follows that but, whatever follows the I can't because or they can't because, those are all circumstances, okay? If you don't have the money, you don't have the time, you don't have the help, you don't have the resources, etc. These are all circumstances. Remind yourself and remind anybody who talks like this that you do not need the time, the money, the help, the resources, etc. until you decide. You do not need the resources until you make your decision. Until you decide to do the thing, you don't need the money, you don't need the time, you don't need the help, you don't need the guidance. Why would you need it if you're not deciding? You've got to make the decision. You've got to make the decision. The decision comes first. You go first, the universe follows. You go first, the universe follows. You go first, the universe follows. This means you decide first, the universe will provide you with the time, the resources, the energy, the ideas, the inspiration, the guidance, the help, the money, everything that you need, every single time, once you make the decision. Because you go first. You lead, the universe follows. You decide, the universe follows. Okay? I'm like trying to lock that into your brain so deeply right now. You decide, the universe follows. You lead, the universe follows. Okay? You go first. The universe follows. Once you make the decision, you will always find a way to get what you need to make it happen every single time, always. If something hasn't happened the way you desired it to, if you were working towards something and there were things that you needed to make it happen, and maybe the things didn't come to help you make it happen, well, had you actually decided to do the thing? Had you actually decided to go for the thing? Did you actually decide and declare that that was the only option? If not, that is why the resources, the money, the time didn't come. Because you were in a state of indecision. You didn't actually choose. So how is the universe supposed to provide you with something that you didn't actually decide to have? How is the universe supposed to support you in creating something you didn't actually decide and declare that you were going for? You've got to decide. You go first, the universe follows. You decide first, the universe follows. You lead, the universe follows. You will always attract what you need once you decide. Make the decision, then the energetic gateway to support you will open. So the shift takes place when you declare and you decide to create or be or do or have something. When you declare and decide to create, be, do, or have something, the moment that you decide, the energetic gateway opens and you attract and receive everything you need to succeed in the thing. Every single time. So, you'll see people out there, right? And they try something once or twice. And they go for something once or twice. And if they don't perfect it, oh my gosh, they've failed. They think they are a failure. Their life is over. They've failed. How will they ever rise from this? Oh my goodness. I'm not making fun. I'm trying to bring the emotion to this, okay? So many people, I've been this person too. So maybe I'm making fun of my old self a little bit. However, if you're here in a space like this, I get you and I honor you and I see you and I hope this helps you, okay? So many people try something once or twice. And if they don't perfect it, if it doesn't go the way that they desired it to right away, they feel that they've failed. Okay, here's the thing you need to remember. Failure isn't failure unless you stop. So if something doesn't go perfect, if something doesn't go exactly the way you desired it to or planned for it to, you're not a failure. Maybe you made a mistake. Maybe you were meant to learn these lessons. Maybe this is part of your growth curve. You're not a failure. Your life isn't over. This isn't the end for you. You can grow from this. You can learn from this. You can become better and stronger and more of the human that you're meant to be from this. Right? So, failure isn't failure unless you stop. Failing doesn't make a person a failure, okay? But quitting can. Quitting can make a person a failure. And quitting is a decision. So when you decide to quit, when you decide to give up on your dream, on your goal, on something that you've wanted, you're deciding to fail. Like, keep going. Keep going. Don't quit. What do you mean quit? That word isn't even in my vocabulary anymore. Like, ex-nay that from your vocabulary and keep fucking going. You're learning. You're growing. This is part of the process. Just because it didn't go perfectly doesn't mean this is grounds for you to quit. Do not ever fucking quit. Do not quit. Oh my goodness, don't quit. Like, ugh. You can't quit. It's not an option. We're not the type of people who quit. We are not quitters. We are winners. We're leaders, right? We are next level human beings with absolute infinite potential. We are outstanding. Like, we're extraordinary. We're so extraordinary. We don't quit. What do you mean? It's not even on our radar. Okay? When you decide to keep going, despite the adversities, despite the obstacles, despite the slip-ups, when you decide to keep going all the way through the finish line, you decide to win. You're choosing to win. And that's a beautiful fucking thing. So don't worry about failing. Don't be afraid of not getting it right. You're going to learn and you're going to gain strength along the way, and it's going to prepare you for the big fucking win that you've been working toward. It's getting you ready for the big win that you've been preparing for. So build your self-confidence by doing the damn thing, right? Build upon your self-image by doing the thing one step at a time. Build upon your confidence, build upon your strength, build upon your ability to do what you need to do. One step at a time, one decision at a time, one thing at a time, one goal at a time. Take your first step. Make the decision to take your first step to create the future that you desire. Okay? Get clear as fuck about what it is that you want. Crystal clear, not clear as mud, crystal clear on what it is you desire, how you want to live, what you want to create, and decide to hold that vision. Decide to hold that vision and allow the positive guidance and the ideas to help you improve your situation to flow to you. Once you decide to hold the vision for that C-type goal, once you decide to hold the vision for that big goal, all you have to do is allow the guidance and the ideas and the support and the resources and everything you need to support you in making that come true to come to you. Okay? So, you ever get tripped up about the how? You're like, okay, so I'm getting better at making the decisions. I'm getting better at choosing what I want. I'm getting better at taking the steps forward. but I'm still so tripped up on the how. How do I do it? How? How is this going to happen? How am I supposed to make this happen? This is the biggest thing I've ever fucking worked toward. How in the world? How? How do I make it happen? How? How? I've been there too. And let me tell you, being in this space, wondering how all the time, it's not a comfortable space. It's not a fun space. It's not a feel-good space. It's full of worry and doubt and fear and lack of faith. It's weird and icky and like, I don't like it. So I don't go there because it doesn't feel good. I know at this point in my journey that the how is none of my fucking business. The how will sort itself out along the way. The how is actually coming into form every forward step that I'm taking. The how is creating itself. The how isn't necessarily some like preconceived way of going about a goal. You know, let's say you channel this like next level desire. This is something so big, it's the biggest thing you've ever wanted. You have no idea how to make it happen. The how isn't set in stone for you as soon as you channel that desire. Like, it's not like you receive the desire, you have the idea, you see it in your imagination, and there's like a step-by-step how process of how you are exactly meant to get there and do it. It's not like that. It's like you hold the desire within you. You were given this desire channeled through you. And now you get to create the how. Now, over time, the how, the process for how it's meant to come into form for you is going to come into form every day. Every forward step you take is creating the how. So this is also where I like to say you get to create your beliefs and you get to decide your beliefs around how life gets to work for you. So it's like, I believe that my goals get to be fun and they get to be expansive and I get to experience so much joy and play and fulfillment and pleasure on the way to my goals. I don't have to struggle. I don't have to sacrifice. I don't have to hustle my ass off every day and burn myself out to make my dreams come true. I get to do it my own way, and I get to do it in a way that feels good for me and is true for me and is aligned for me, where I can show up in alignment with my values and what is important to me, and I can treat people with kindness and with love, and I can show up with intention and integrity, and I get to do things from a space that is aligned with my highest level self. And I don't have to compromise, and I don't have to sacrifice, and I don't have to say no to one thing I want just to say yes to another thing I want. I get to have it all. These are beliefs that I run with, and these are beliefs that I'm continually locking in my life and on my journey. So you can choose those things too. You can choose those types of beliefs too. If that feels good for you, if that is what you want, if that is what is expansive and aligned and feel good for you. But that's the point, is your process for creating your desires is meant to feel good for you. You're meant to do it in a way that is right for you, that is aligned for you, that allows you to be more of you. Okay? You get to do it in a way that is like this for you. So stop getting tripped up on the how. Okay, the how is going to come into form. The how is you're going to see the how in hindsight. When you look back, when you've gotten to your goal, then you can ask, how did I do that? And you're going to see clearly exactly how you made it happen. Okay? The point of this, though, is like when you are working towards something that you truly desire in life, and you've made that decision to move toward it, you've made that decision to go for it. Once you make that decision, right, you open up that energetic gateway for all of the resources and tools and people and support and guidance and energy and everything to come to you to support you in making it happen. You open up that energetic gateway for the support and guidance to come to you once you made the decision. Part of that support and the guidance coming to you are inspired ideas. So as you're moving toward your goal, as you're living your life and you have this C-type goal in mind, this is what I'm waking up to work toward. This is what I'm working toward right now. This is what I'm trading my life for right now. As you're working toward that, if you're paying attention, if you're not so distracted, you're going to realize that there's inspiration coming to you, and there are ideas coming to you, and there's guidance coming to you. And this inspiration and these ideas and this guidance, it says, this is your next step. Ooh, do this thing. This feels fun. Ooh, wouldn't that be expansive? Maybe try that. You know, talk to this person. Do that live stream. Host this masterclass. Right? Go to this event. Go on this vacation. Take a bath. Read a book. Whatever. Right? The inspiration and the guidance is going to come to you. Hire that mentor. You know? Whatever. Join that program. Like, the guidance and the inspiration is there. It's always coming to you. Like, if you've studied anything spiritual, you've probably heard around or like seen on the internet the idea that everything we need is already within us. That's what this is referring to. Everything that you need is already within you. Once you make the decision, part of that energetic activation when you decide is like activating these ideas and these inspirations and this guidance. Whether you view it as coming from the universe or from a higher power to and through you, or whether you just view it as, you know, cultivating these ideas and guidance and stuff from within you, whatever it is, it's still coming from within you, right? So that's the thing, is like, you're going to see the how. You're going to see how it came into form in hindsight. And so many people get tripped up by the how. They're worried about how to do it. They don't see how to do it. And they actually end up giving up on their fantasies and their worthy ideals and their big goals and their C-type goals because they can't see how to make it happen in their lives. So they just quit. They give up. They're like, I can't see how, so why would I even try? Man, why are you giving up? Like, it's crazy to me. It makes me sad. It makes me sad. I want to grab those people's goals and like wrap them in a swaddle and just like cradle them because I feel so sad for those goals. And I feel so sad for those people because they would have seen and experienced more of their potential if they would have given themselves a shot. And they're worthy of that, and they deserve that. So this is why we can't get tripped up by the how, because we can't let more people in the world be tripped up by the how, because it's heartbreaking. So here's the thing, my friends, is like, so many people give up on their fantasies and their ideals and their C-type goals and stuff because they can't see the how, right? They can't see how to make it happen. But here's the thing, if they knew the how, they would have a plan. It wouldn't be a goal, it wouldn't be a vision, it wouldn't be a desire. If they knew the how, they would have a plan. That would be a plan. The how would be a plan, right? The roadmap from A to Z would be a plan. That wouldn't be a desire. That wouldn't be a C-type goal. That wouldn't be a worthy vision. That wouldn't be a fantasy. It would be a plan. And there's actually no fucking inspiration in a plan. If there is any inspiration, it's very little. And it's probably based on a false sense of like significance coming from productivity. Which, I mean, isn't what I'm working toward. I want real inspiration. I want real passion. Right? Real feelings from moving toward and doing the things that I know that I'm meant to do. So there's no inspiration in a plan. However, there's unlimited inspiration in goals and desires and in visions and in fantasies. There's infinite inspiration there. Again, if you were on the Shift Masterclass that I hosted a few weeks ago, you heard me talk about desire and the feeling of desire and how expansive it is and how fun it is and playful and like it makes you feel so good and it raises your energy and it gets your vibe high because you desire the thing. And you're just like, I desire it, I desire it, I desire it. This is my fantasy, I desire it. I have this goal, I have this vision, and it's so beautiful and it's big and like, ooh, it's just like I desire it, right? So there's a lot of inspiration in visions and desires and goals, but there's no inspiration in a plan. And if we knew how we were going to do our goals, we would have a plan. So when you have a desire and when you have a vision for it, hold the desire strongly. Hold it confidently and hold it without worrying about how you're going to do it or how you're going to attract the resources or where the resources will come from. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Simply hold your vision. Decide that you're moving toward it. Okay? Decide that you're moving toward it with excitement, with desire, with enthusiasm. Get excited. Hold your vision and decide. And refuse, absolutely refuse, like shut it the fuck down when worries, doubts, fears, wondering about how you're going to do it comes up. Shut it down. Refuse to entertain worries. Refuse to entertain doubts, fears about how it'll happen. Simply focus on the desire. Hold the desire and hold the vision, because that's where the inspiration is going to come from. Holding the desire and holding the vision. I desire this. I see this. It's happening this way. It's so beautiful. I can't wait. I'm so excited. La, la, la. That is where the inspiration is going to come from. Not, how do I make this happen? How is it possible? How? That's not it. That's not it. Okay? Again, let's talk about people in our lives who show up and they tell us it's not possible. You can't do that. That's ridiculous. Okay, first of all, don't entertain conversations with these people. Don't entertain conversations about why something cannot be done. Don't entertain conversations with people that are basing their opinions in limited beliefs and limited thoughts and limited potential. Okay? The only thing that you will get from giving energy to these types of conversations are results that you don't want. So just don't involve yourself with that. Okay? Don't entertain conversations about why something cannot be done. Instead, keep following your inner guidance. Okay? Keep following your inner desire. Do not be pulled off track by outside opinions or outside circumstances. Because your life, this life you're creating, this life you're living, it matters. It matters. You matter. What you desire matters. What you want, who you desire to become, what you desire to create, all that you want to be, do, and have in your life. This matters. You matter. All of it matters. It's for a purpose. It's for a reason. And it's actually for something greater than you can even imagine. It's much bigger than you. It's much bigger than just me. It's for something much greater. What you desire matters, okay? And life is short. Life is short. We don't know when will be our last moment. So give it your all. Like, give it your all. Decide now that you're going to wake up every day and give it your all. Give your desires your all. Give those C-type goals your all. Give your life your all. And you're not going to worry about how it's going to happen. You're just going to show up and you're going to decide and declare that it is. And once you make that decision, you'll attract everything that you need to support you in your endeavors. You have the potential to create, to be, to do, to have anything that you decide to create and be and do and have. But you must make decisions to get there. You must make decisions to get there. So when decision-making opportunities come, decide where you are with exactly what you have. Decide. No more of that indecision shit. Break through it. No more disintegration. No more indecision. No more disintegration. We're making decisions. We're moving forward because this is who we are. Right? I'm Miranda fucking Tate. You are first name fucking last name. You're making the decision. You're moving toward what you desire. You're doing the damn thing. You have infinite potential. You can be, do, and have, and create anything you want. If you desire something, of course it is possible. If an idea comes into your mind, if you're entertaining a fantasy, of course it is possible. Of course you can do it. Of fucking course you can. Of fucking course. However, you've got to choose it. You've got to decide to have it. You have to decide and declare that you will have it, that it will happen, that it is always and already coming into form because you've decided. Okay? Thomas Edison said something. He said if we did all the things we were capable of doing, we would literally astound ourselves. If we did all the things we were capable of doing, we would literally astound ourselves. If we did all the things we have the potential to do, we would literally blow ourselves away. Infinite potential. Absolutely infinite potential. Decide what you want. Make your moves. Take your forward steps. Do not wait. Do not overthink. Choose. Decide. Then take the aligned action. If there's something you desire in life and it isn't happening, it's because you're deciding for it not to happen. Again, not making a decision is a decision in itself. So if you want something to happen, but it's not happening, it's because you haven't decided for it to happen yet. And because you haven't decided for it to happen yet, you're actually deciding for it not to happen. So clean that up, right? Clean that up. So clean that up. Yeah. Make those decisions. If there are areas of your life where something that you desire isn't happening yet, it's because you're deciding for it not to happen yet. Clean that up. Decide for it to happen so it can start happening. The reason we see success is because we decide. The reason we see success is because we decide for it to happen. So the answer to creating all of the results that you want in your life is in the decision, right? It's in decisions. You can literally decide to create, be, do, and have anything you desire. If you decide to wait, you're going to wait. If you decide to stay, you're going to stay. If you decide to leave, you're going to leave. If you decide to quit, you're going to quit. If you decide to move, you are going to move. If you decide to decide, you are going to decide. Okay? So your next levels, we're talking about saying fuck yes to your next levels, right? Utilizing the power of decision to say fuck yes to your next levels. Your next levels, these are the desires that you hold within you. The visions, the fantasies, the C-type goals. This is your next level. That next level version of yourself that you see yourself becoming, this is your next level. the next levels of confidence, the next levels of self-image, the next levels of self-esteem, the next levels of self-worth, the next levels of receiving, the next levels of creating, the next levels of living the life that you love. These are your next levels. These are your desires. So it is time now. Now is the time to choose your desires. Now is the time to decide to have what you want. Now is the time to say fuck yes to your desires. Now is the time to say fuck yes to your next levels. Now is the time to say fuck yes to yourself and the life that you love, because you're so worth it. You deserve it more than you even know. And I want to see you win. And the world wants to see you win. And your higher power wants to see you win. And I know somewhere deep down within you, you want to fucking win too. So go get it. What are you deciding to happen next? What is coming next for you? What is the next level that you're choosing going to be like? What's it going to be like? What desires are you saying fuck yes to? Feel free to leave me a comment below and share some of your thoughts and ideas and goals and desires and spaces that you're moving into. I'd love to hear all about your next levels. I hope this masterclass was everything you needed and so much more. It was so powerful for me. I know it will be powerful for you as well. I love you all so much. I hope you had an incredible time here with me. I had an incredible time here with you. I hope you take care. We'll talk to you on the next one. Thank you so much for being here. Go and get that life you love. Decide, declare, choose it. You're ready. You don't have to wait. No more worrying about the how, okay? You've got this. I love you.